Welcome to our session 0 of a Call of Cthulhu 7th edition story that I will be running for the next few months, called Our Better Angels. It's 7th edition of Call of Cthulhu, and this is our session 0, or case file 0, entitled Old Embers. We will be determining the characters that we will be playing in this portion of the narrative, and for those who are watching this story, will be told in 3 parts, 3 separate acts. Act 1 will take place in 1927 in the city of Biko or Biko. Doesn't matter how you pronounce it. If you pronounce it from internal, like you lived there, it's done both ways, which is annoying to outsiders, but intentionally annoying, as you'll learn and come to see. And it will also have some intersection with the city of Arkham, spelled Arkam. And I know for people who may end up watching this, who are fans of the Call of Cthulhu series, they're probably raging at the screen in its spelling differences,
Yes.
but perhaps you remember it incorrectly. Perhaps the way you remember it is not quite correct. Perhaps the way that it always has been is the way that it is spelled that I said, not the way you
Not
said.
convinced.
Like a Berenstein situation. Or Stain,
What?
whatever it is. The point is things are going to be different in our narrative than they are not only in Call of Cthulhu's narrative, but also from the real life perspective of Call of Cthulhu's positioning. So understand that our world, our reality in this game is very much our own, and it is very much different than others, and that is intentional. Okay, so this session 0, we're going to introduce everybody. I'm John, Jonathan Dupre, he, him, at Decalis on Twitter, etc., etc. I run the channel. Not always the one running games in it, but I'm the one who's currently doing so today. That's me. I've been playing games for a long time. I'm old, but not the oldest one here. The oldest one here is also the most knowledgeable in this game system here, and I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself first. Go ahead, Andy.
Take it over, Brett.
Right? No, I'm Andy. Pronounce he and him and his. Played D&D way back in the late 70s, advanced, and long hiatus, and picked it up again with 5th edition, and have been expanding out to other systems, and Cthulhu is one of my favorite alternate systems. Been playing it for about a part of 10 years.
Very good, very good. And Chandler, I know you have some experience with the system. In fact, you were chomping at the bit to play in this specific game. So tell us about yourself.
I'm Chandler, pronouns he, him. I love Call of Cthulhu. I'm a fan of the occult in general. So when John said that he was running this game, I was super pumped to jump in it. So I'm glad to be with a new group to be able to run this with and have someone else who's played the game before to bounce off ideas with.
Yeah, and to play with that too. I've never run the game personally. I've played in it, and I would argue that I played poorly. I'm definitely not like a great person when it comes to the player side of things. But I feel like I can tell a pretty decent story, and I do have one that I want to tell, and this system best fits telling it. So, yeah. So I'm going to be wrong in systemality a lot. I guarantee that will happen, and I know the person who will spot it the most is Zach. So he'll do his next, but I want to make sure that I'm going to basically be leaning on the rules very little. And so when it does come to the way that the rules are going to be implemented, I want to make sure that you are okay and comfortable with it the way it's being hit. So Zach, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I don't know anything about this game. I'm Zach. I'm a he, him, and I am ready.
Yeah, but the only reason I called you out on it is because you are very, very good at gauging the rules very quickly. Like, I've seen you dropped into a couple of games, and you very quickly get the gimmick and get the premise, and so that's the only reason I called you out there. You're just very intelligent when it comes to systems. I'm not going to continue glossing you up there. I'm going to move to Chody, who's also really adorable and lovable and the best.
Just look at him.
Just look at it.
Hair's getting a little long this year.
I love it. Chody, tell us about yourself.
I have been playing games for a long time. I started probably second or third grade with Warhammer, and then I've been following John around with the role playing stuff for years and years and years. So I've never played Cthulhu. I love the uh, the setting of it, and always wanted to, but have never gotten to. So I'm excited to see what it does.
Perfect. And our most favoriteest boy, the puppiest of men, the best boy, in fact, the one who will keep everyone besides me honest. That is Brent. Tell us about yourself.
I'm pretty excited to try Cthulhu. I played in Andy's game and it was fun. I didn't have to make the characters then, which was pretty much a giant burden off of my shoulders. Because I'm glad I didn't either. I roll really bad, and this is proof of it. And I'm very sad about it.
I didn't know you got in on Andy Cthulhu. That's
Yeah, man.
okay. So we got 3 experienced players. So Chody and Zach are the only ones who have yet to play at all. Okay, cool. Then let's move into character creation. Now, I understand it, Andy. You have a character completed, 100% complete.
Correct.
Great.
That's right.
And Chandler, yes, as well, completely 100%.
Yeah. The only thing I don't have is a name for the character.
Gotcha. Well, that's important, and also story and narrative about them is also super key. Now, I know that Chody has a concept, a very strong one in my opinion, and I know that Brent is done. Yes.
I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to throw yourself into the mouth of a Cthulhu, you can if it's that bad. But, like, I don't want you to feel locked in with the randomity. If you like the character and you enjoy it, great. But if there's problems and you feel like it doesn't fit the dynamic, I'm okay with, I think there's different metrics besides rolling to build characters.
No, I like the randomness of it. I'm just very sad that my character has, I think, the lowest stats out of everybody, but it's whatever. He's probably the youngest one, so it's fine.
It's so close to real life. Cool. And then Zach and Chody will be working on building your characters. I think the main things that we need to understand narratively, and again, it's important for you as players to understand these specifics, not so much to the detail, but to what they basically impose on the idea of the game. I guess is the best way to kind of describe the thrust of it. So the game takes place in 1927 in the United States of America in a small town called Bico in the county of Bologna, which is a replacement name for the county of Essex, which is a real-life county in Massachusetts. But in this world, that county, Essex, doesn't exist, and instead it is called Bologna. Spelled Bologna, so you can pronounce it either way. It's like Bico Bico in that kind of regard. Great, good times. There are alterations to the timeline that we understand is present in our own kind of world, and the way it has kind of rolled out is very different. These are very detailed, nuanced changes and will be kind of mentioned in the background quite a bit, but I want to make sure we're understanding the thing I pressed at the beginning. We are very much not in our time. It is different. So keep that in mind as like certain things pop up. If I say something that sounds like it is either anachronistic or non-historical or it didn't go that way, these are intentionally done. So
like the Germans won World War One or something.
we're not there yet because the Germans didn't win World War One. The World War One situation kind of went the way it did. Yeah, that would be something that tracks. But yeah, so some of the things are the same, but some of the things are different. Like who won or who became president and when they became president are slightly different. Not too much in the past, like beyond 20 or 30 years before this game is changed or altered, but there are some things that happen in that kind of stream that have been kind of changed. So yeah. That said, on the character creation process, I believe that we would start in going to the compendium, and I think it's the character. They have a character mancer for this, right?
Yeah, it's super easy.
Oh, great. Well, I'll go ahead and take the not Jeremy character and just follow along with you. So standard is correct. That would be the correct way of it. And then the roll all option is great. Perfectly fine. And then in the next step...
Oh, it just tells... Okay. I didn't realize that these were not private rules.
Oh, well, yeah, I see what you're
It's
saying.
fine. It's fine. Everybody just knows what I'm about.
Well, some of them are kind of noticeable, like strength and size and such are kind of things you're going to be able to tell, right?
What the hell is that?
But yeah, try and think of it like on a percentage scale of like how well or how under average your
Percentile likelihood to succeed.
Correct. The percentile will be rolled, and if it's lower than your number, then it's a success. And if it's lower by a certain like percentage, I believe, it'll be a critical success. And then if it fails by so much, it's a failure, and if it fails by a larger amount, it's a critical failure. Okay, go ahead.
When I slowed down, it took me to my actual page. How do I get back into the Character Mancer?
Should be a bio button or a cog button up in the top right, and there should be a Character Mancer reset. Do you see that or no?
Bio and info is
No,
empty.
not that tab. No. Inside of the
Character
character sheet
sheet?
proper. Yeah, hold on.
I have edit mode,
No.
whisper, roll.
No. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You did good, Shorty. You did real good.
The Dungeons and Dragons one has a reset option. This one does not look like it does. So, good old fashioned Chody Part 2. Electric
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Beat ya.
I was typing. I probably spelled
Don't
it
beat
wrong. That's fair. You know what? Okay. All right, Shody, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. You're going to start it over and not skip ahead too far. And I'm going to delete not Jeremy, and I'm going to follow along from a character I create in a second. All right. So, once you've finished the roll all for your stats, you'll then move into age, and you want to determine your age on a couple of premises here.
So I just pasted into the Discord chat all the rules for that,
Perfect.
the modifiers.
And so, yeah, depending on how old you are, you'll kind of adjust like traits and stats, right? If you're a young kid, you're going to be smaller, right? If you're kind of, of adult age, you're going to have pretty much standard baseline stuff. But 40s, you'll start to reduce your strength and such, and more so as you kind of get older and older. The other thing to notate in this game specifically is if you are intending on playing this character for the long haul, like all the way through, it's pretty much indicative that you're going to be playing a 16 or 15 to 19-year-old person in this game for you to make it all the way to the end of the narrative. Now,
What if we believe our character must be too handsome to die?
if your character believes that, they might just die anyway,
Good.
despite their faith.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
the Character Mancer takes into account those modifications.
Yeah, it'll automatically do it.
Okay.
So you'll just need to plug it and play it. But if you are wanting to be a character that has importance in this specific arc, and then play a different character in the next arcs, that is also appreciated. There's definitely a concept in a lot of people's role-playing experiences where you kind of get a bit of a main character energy, and you feel like, this is about this character, and it's very important that this character goes forward. The thing I want to throw out here, just for you to understand, is your characters in the first story will matter to the characters in the second story, even if they're not there. There is no way in my mind that every single one of the characters that's currently sitting here today, and possibly a sixth we'll see, that they don't matter moving forward. They are important. The narrative is very much foundational on this and then the next. Go ahead, Zach.
Could you remind us what the time skip between sessions will be again?
Sure. So 1927 is the first bit.
First series?
Yeah, and then it's in the 50s, and I want to say it is 53. Yep. And so younger characters from that first series.
We'll age about 26 years.
Correct. And then in the last series, it'll be taking place in 1986. So if you were 18 at the start of the game, you'll be 77 in the last bit of the story. So
And it is not necessary for us to continue a character into the next series.
it
if
is not
we
mandatory.
don't wish to.
Correct. It is anticipated that the characters will potentially die. Well, I might kill them. You might do something stupid. Get yourself killed. Like shove your hand in an orrery and get your hand zapped off. Who knows? You know, like all these.
Cthulhu
Or
characters are
wait
way
around
more
for that person
squishy.
who did that for whatever reason. Like these are things that could happen, right? I'm not saying anything like specific. I'm not trying to put anything out there that might have happened already. But the thing is that it could be the case that these characters die, or they could live past this, and their offspring could be the ones that are traumatized because of their parents' experience with what happens here, and are basically they have an onus to try and deal with it after that fact. Or it could be the case that just entirely new investigators are brought in the 50s by you, the player, and have to deal with this because of what the others did. Make sense?
So we just type in the age under in age.
Yeah, whatever you want the character in 1927's age to be.
Okay, and then the improvement roll, and then they automatically do that. You said, Andy?
You have to click the improve. You have to do the rolls, and that's taking
Okay.
into account your age.
Okay, so I hit the improvement roll, I hit the roll dice button.
Great. So that's going to impact the skills associated.
Okay, it just went to an X when I hit roll.
Yeah, because you only get so many shots at the improvement roll.
And then I just do it again.
If you have another improvement roll, yeah.
Failure. Neat. I failed both times. Cool.
It's more common.
Don't worry,
to
I
fail
did
than to
too.
Pass.
Sweet.
Yes.
They're actually really hard to pass.
Okay,
It's-
and then character deduction. It already does that. Deduct 5 points among strength, con, and dex.
Choose the 3 how you want to reduce by 5 total. So you can do 1 in strength, 2 in dex, 2 in con if you want.
Don't even think about it, baby cat. Get down from there. Alright, well. Sorry.
Okay.
You're not a baby cat. I didn't mean that about you, Jody. So the next part, I got bogarted out of my spot because baby cat. I'm going to blame it on the baby cat just because I like blaming things on him right now. He's being very difficult today. So we are on the post-age part. Right?
Occupation.
Cool. I'm gonna be 87. Okay, so sample occupations. You can see them there. Now we have people who've already built, so let's discuss those. Chandler, what did you choose for your occupation? Antiquarian.
Yep, I couldn't think of how to say it.
Okay, so antiquarian, just normal, not Lovecraftian, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Just a collector of rare books.
Checking out a bit of Americana, seeking out the old, early, settlers and stuff, books. Is that what we're talking about?
What I'm going for with the character is to give him a reason to be up in New England, is that he's actually looking for Tituba's Evil Book, which is what started the Salem witch trials.
Very cool. And yeah, we're in Massachusetts, so Salem isn't too far away. So that makes sense. And this is a small town that probably has all the old dusty tombs from its inception. We love it. Okay, so Andy, you've also built your character. I believe you went with archaeologist. Is that right?
Nope. So I went with a cultist,
Okay.
and his day job is a professor of antiquities. So basically, the character concept is that there's this young professor who is, I guess, associated with Miskatonic, which is the Arkham. Is that still in this world as well?
Correct. It might be spelled differently, but Arkham, as you understand it, is still Arkham. Its just
Right.
name is weird.
And so it has university there, and he's a professor of antiquity. And he basically uses his skill in that to try to find objects, and on the sly they are occult kind of objects.
Okay. Now, this is an interesting opportunity for us when it comes to this story, Andy, and I want to make sure we put it out here and highlight it. Do you think that, and this is entirely up to you, and there's no mechanical or narrative reason for it other than the way you want to play your character, but does your character spell Arkham with an H or not?
My character spells Arkham with an H.
Ingenious. Very fun. Exciting. And so everybody else is wrong. You're very invested on this being the right way of it.
Well, that's the way it's always been in the books that he's read.
Right. Right. Even though some people have shown you the books, there's the books that, like, copies of those books.
Oh, those aren't the ones that I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that. And when people ask you to find the book in the library, you go and you find it, and it's spelled Arkham with no H, and so it's this very interesting kind of memory.
I tampered with those books.
Yeah, people are tampering with the books. So
that's got to be the answer. There's got to be some sort of conspiracy.
That's very good. That's very exciting. Okay, great. So we have
there are these dark forces at work. We got
right. You as an occultist, of course, you would think they're just trying to blind your eyes from the truth. Mm-hmm. The H
suckers.
Being the word truth. Okay, so then we also have Brent, and you went with Farmer, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we've got an interesting position with you as well. So you could be from Baiko if you want to. You do not have to be. You could be from somewhere else. But it's important to know if you are or not at the inception. So we're going to come to the story as to what happens, either leading you to it or like up into this point in the town. But we need to know, in your opinion, what should it be? Are you local here to this small town in the middle of Massachusetts, or in the northern corner of Massachusetts, rather? Or are you from somewhere else and you're coming here for a reason?
My idea was that he was local, and he was maybe some of his animals were going missing or something, so he's trying to figure out why.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be the case. We're not talking about animal stealing horror. That is very much a bestial eldritch horror. That is not a thing that's happening here. It could be the case that they're acting strangely.
I like that one.
But it's highly unlikely that they're any of them being taken. It's not that kind of it's not that kind of eldritch horror.
You could maybe play it as they're getting more diseased.
Or anxious. It's probably not a physical malady. It's probably more anxious. They're just scared of the area.
You can maybe accuse it on mad cow disease would be the thinking, or something like that in that same range.
Yeah, that might be it, and you're looking for people in town to try and help you with it. So the main thing is there's no real physical malady. There's no plague. There's no kind of anything like that. The main thing that we'll get to is there is a certain kind of confusion that we'll be discussing that's present, but it's not noticeable to anybody besides the people who are here, is the best way I can kind of describe it. NPCs don't know better. Okay, so now we still have Chody and Zach, and I know that Chody's already ready to rock with concept. So which of these positions?
I know that it was mentioned occult earlier, but
Occult
I think that either gangster boss, because she's pulled out from her ex-husband, or just criminal. Okay. I don't know if those line up better.
I know that prostitute is on the list.
Oh, okay. It is?
Yeah, prostitute is on the list.
And for those,
yes, they're in alphabetical order. It's under P. So also because you're a bit of a pimp in this regard, and again, Chody will be playing a she, her, so it's not going to be your characteristic 70s pimp because we're in the 20s. No fish-filled shoes.
She's a madam.
A madam indeed. You could go with salesperson. Again, obviously, we're using that in a very strange regard. Senior manager could also, I think, potentially work with that.
Photographer?
I don't understand what the difference is with these. Like, what does
they determine what your skills are going to be. Your skill list.
Can you please explain the skill points and credit rating? Because that's pretty much all we get.
Sure, absolutely. So credit rating is how much currency and cash and capital you have. and that'll be available for you throughout the game. It is an effective method for, instead of it being like a dollary bills kind of, the micromanagement system, it's kind of like this is what you have and kind of can afford in a case. And then the skills are basically skills that you can purchase into. Occupation skills is what that list is, and you gain a number of occupation skills based on your occupation skills metric. So, for example, dilettante would have education times 2 plus app is, what was app again? Appearance, right? Times 2. So basically, it'll take two stats that are important to you, and it'll multiply them by 2 and add them together, so you can spend points on the skills that are listed for the job, for the occupation.
Right. So each character has like a set beginning amount of skill points, and then your occupation skills will add to those, and you can just add how much. And then there's also personal interest skills that you could add as well after the occupation skills. So it's basically what your character is good at.
Correct. And these are the ones that you're good at because of the job you chose.
And I also wanted to mention photographer, John, as well, because that might be cool. So, like, if it's like a photographer as a front for getting prostitutes, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think
the skills kind of connect too.
I think in a small town situation like this, there's really no chicanery that's happening with the working girls. They're very much trying, like, it's post-depression, right? Like, we're kind of like coming off of that. People are trying to make capital as quick as they can. In Baiko, you've got farmers with weird acting animals. You've got all these random people passing through just to go to Arkham. Nobody's really staying. It's a situation where the girls that are working here are making pretty good money because of all the people that are floating through. So it's not like... Go ahead.
I think criminal works the best because it has charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade.
And you are a criminal.
Right.
You are a criminal.
That works perfect.
I'm going to go with that one.
All right, criminal it is. And then Zach, last but not least, what do we got?
So stat-wise, I don't bring a whole lot to the table. I'm pretty middling to low on everything but appearance.
Got ourselves a regular.
And a little bit of intelligence.
So intelligence and appearance.
Dilettante looks really attractive to me.
It's weird that I said that out.
I told you.
Yeah, dilettante would be good.
Did you?
Yeah, I said dilettante or fop.
I heard fop. I know you called me a fop, and I was very upset.
You're very offended by that.
And if Andy is a college professor, rather Andy's character is also a college professor.
Also.
And studying artifacts.
Yep.
I could be the owner of said artifacts, loading them to the school.
Well,
would that be out of the range of like an art collector kind of thing?
I like the attempt to kind of connect the two, but we've got.
I don't mean to if Andy doesn't want that to happen.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe you could be like my like sort of on the sly, slightly shady source for where antiquities pop up in the world.
Regular Hobby Lobby Connect. So what I'm trying to focus on here, though, is the main thing is, Zach, you're going to be proffered the question that everybody has kind of answered in one way or another, except for Chandler. I don't think we asked Chandler, and that's really me. Because I know, Chody, you said you're a Baiko resident, right? You're here. You're in the town.
I'm living here now. Yeah.
Yes.
I was.
It's not your home, but it's currently where you've been residing for maybe a year. Okay, so Chandler, we didn't discuss where your characters. Are you from Arkham as well, or?
No. When you're asking me where I'm from, you're not talking about like a city-state type of situation, right?
Yeah, I am.
Oh no, I'm down south. I'm from New Orleans.
Gotcha. So you are traveling up here. Perfect. I think our protagonist read for this specific module will probably come from your perspective then. Cool. Not that you're the protagonist. Don't get any ego or anything here.
I don't.
Okay, perfect. So the same question is going to be proffered to you that it was now has been put to everybody else. So you are either from this town or you're from somewhere else. And we have 2 residents. We have 2 outsiders. And Andy's character is not a full-on outsider. He's probably like tangentially aware of Baiko because Arkham's close, but it's probably like one of those backwater places that just nobody cares about.
Yeah, no, I'm not from that.
Okay.
Trash town.
Wow.
So then I guess a
I
better
come from money.
like idea here then, if you want to connect with Andy, and Andy, are you okay with connecting with Zach, just to make sure we've got consent here?
Sure, it sounds like fun.
Okay, so it could be the case, Zach, that you already have something that is bringing you here, like a piece of a set, something that is
Sure.
important. So that item in question that I will be kind of foisting upon you, that will have a direct connect to the narrative, is a standing mirror. The standing mirror that you have is made out of black oak. It has a very high craftsmanship level in its carvings on the exterior, and it depicts two angels on the outside, lifting their hands up over the face of the mirror, and in their hands they're holding a boat. And the boat is crafted in the very in the period like styling of Noah's Ark. Okay? On the base of the mirror, there's just like a mess of carving, and it is just a large grouping of all different types of animals. The mirror itself is a steel mirror. It is not a glass mirror, which is also very interesting for the period. So this is like an 1700s like mirror, and it is believed it was made by a craftsman in the Massachusetts area, specifically around Arkham. When you go to Arkham and investigate, which we'll discuss in kind of the early kind of prologue, we'll have that discussion, but you'll basically be going to Andy's character to find out more about the mirror.
And it's acceptable that I be like an art collector or collector of just fascinations
Yeah, and the reason
as
why
a
you
dilettante.
the reason why you want to know more about the mirror is because you want more mirrors or more craftsmanship like that from the
I want to
artist.
talk about my cool shit
Yeah, because I mean,
to my swanky friends. There is dilettante and then dilettante Lovecraftian.
so you're going to be dilettante.
Okay.
Lovecraftian
Ooh,
means
Zach, it could be funding your opium addiction.
Lovecraftian would mean
we'll
that
get there when we get there, mister.
Lovecraftian would mean that you have a connection to the occult already.
I don't know shit about the things. It's neat. I want it. I own it.
I will say one thing, and whether or not you emphasize this in character or not is up to you, but the mirror itself, you probably don't spend much time with it. It's not like something you kind of look at all the time. It's in some kind of place that you've kind of kept.
I have it in storage.
But in the limited time that you've spent in front of it, you swear at one time you saw yourself, but not yourself in the mirror.
Purposefully ignored.
Right. You probably just thought it was like a fluke in
You
the
were
mirror.
totally high at the time.
Why are you pushing drug angle?
Because it's fun.
Because it's the 20s, baby.
Because you're a dilettante. It goes with the character, man.
You want to be a
So
regular...
choose a skill, art/craft. Is there something particular I should be?
Appraise, maybe? Is it an appraise skill?
Appraise sounds smart.
Yeah, especially for your gimmick.
Okay, I'll go with that. That makes a lot of sense.
Now,
And languages, choose a skill. Is that just any like real language?
yeah.
Are we mostly speaking English here? I'm assuming as
Yeah.
the common tongue.
Well, what kind of... Do you collect items from any particular country? Like, I as an academic, I took Latin,
I'll
Greek,
sell things.
Egyptian.
I'll try to put on a bougie angle and say I know a little French to try to, sell objects. Other art collectors, you wouldn't know, but you know.
Okay, so once you've got that, you're going to fill in the parts for the occupation. And so, yeah, you have that. It's choose skill point calculation. For us, it's going to be EDU times 4, which I think is the only metric that it shows for you because of the stuff I currently have on file. Is that right?
Are you talking to me?
Everybody. Who's
Say that
currently
again.
So inside of the occupation, there's a choose skill points calculation tab. You see that? It should say the only option that you folks have should be EDU times 4, and then in parentheses 280.
So it's gonna give you options for how you use your skill points, right? And so depends on which option you choose, I think.
It's the calculation, how you determine
My
what skill points
my
are.
calculation says EDU times 2 plus F times 2.
Oh.
Okay.
parentheses 280. And
Oh,
that's part of why
I
I
see.
chose it, because I have a high app.
And then you should see, like in the next screen, the 280 that you apportion out to your.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I believe you.
And the ones below that are the skills that you're going to choose from. So you're just gonna
Yeah.
click
Is
those.
there something more important than others as far as skills? There are quite a few.
It's up to you. There's nothing.
Can
that's
I
gonna
come
be-
back? Can I come back to this later?
Could I just give you some hints?
That guy.
Spot hidden is always a really good skill, and that's probably a good skill for
makes
a
sense for
collector as
me.
well.
What are your options on the list?
I have like the interpersonal skill.
Yeah.
I have charm, fast talk, intimidate, persuade.
So you're going to choose 2 of those. I think you, as a not a salesperson, as a collector.
Why is it 2? Are you on? Are you?
Oh, it's 2 for the.
Do me a quick favor. Make exactly the same thing I did. Right?
Yeah. Sorry. I think I understand what's going on here. We are a dilettante. It's doing a thing. It's
Can
not
you share that portion of your screen, John?
that I could. Hold on.
Twitch.
No, I can't.
Okay.
Wait. Maybe.
Control paste.
There we go.
There's this little
So-
thingy.
It's now doing what it needs to do. Okay, so I was messed up. You've got the 1 interpersonal
Yes.
skill. So for you want people to give you shit.
I'm probably thinking persuade, right?
You're
For
right,
the
100%. That's super
Fast-
good.
Okay.
And
fast
then
talk
And then I
Awesome.
have artcraft. I chose appraise. I had to type it in. It's not a thing that exists in a list.
correct, because it's like
Okay.
did you ever play 3.5?
Same with language.
You
Huh?
ever play 3rd edition D&D?
No.
It's like knowledge skills in those. They basically knowledge blank and you fill in what you want.
Okay. And then I have 3 skills to choose from, a much larger list at the bottom.
Yes, and those will be your just general skills. And
Okay.
then when we get to spending these points, you'll be spending them across the class skills. And then, etc. Yeah. Okay, and then for Chody, just to make sure we're not criminal, right?
There's also subcategories for criminal as well.
Ooh. Okay. Well, we got criminal.
I went too far ahead, so I went criminal. I chose EDU ×2 plus strength ×2.
Cool.
I picked intimidate, sleight of hand, firearms, fighting, and appraise.
Dope. So you're doing great. Okay, so
I
we'll
feel
just
good about it.
go to the next part, and you have your skill points, and you're just going to spend on your occupation skills 265 or however many points it says on the left, and then for your personal skills, which can be anything, you're going to spend 150. And then the use Arkham skills, you're going to leave unchecked because Arkham skills, even though it's spelled wrong, focus on the Cthulhu mythos stuff and other kind of Arkham related shit.
Okay, so do not move the use Arkham skills.
Yeah, you're not using
How do
them.
I add to those skills? How
So-
do it just
I
says
just
like
typing it in.
five
Type,
minus-
yeah,
type
so type
into the
the
box.
number into the box. So if you're watching my screen,
What is a good score?
so you want the higher
Think
it
about
is.
percentage chances.
Okay, so it's percentage.
Between 1 and 100, 100
So
being
you
the
want to
best.
roll under, right? So, I mean, the higher the better for your most. But you have to obviously choose. You don't have
And
only a
there's
certain
no-
Put
amount
that
of points
across
to put in.
how many?
There's no cap, right?
There's no cap. 100, I guess. There's a cap.
Yeah.
It's like the height
100,
of human
yeah.
abilities or whatever.
Supernatural
100,
skill.
Even if there isn't a cap, 100 should be your cap because there's no way to roll above 100 on a D100.
Right.
So
And you will also
Why
see
is there?
everybody. You'll also see that there are base values on the left. So those will be basically what you have in them if you do nothing.
Apparently, everybody has an 80% chance of drowning.
yeah, yeah, you're not good. No one's good at swimming by default.
Yeah, see, I couldn't be a Call of Cthulhu character because I have a 100% chance of drowning.
So, like, if you really want to be good at a skill, Chris, you probably should make it in the 60s or 70 or something.
Got it.
But that's really
Oh, I
important.
see. So I have so many points from my occupation to put
Yep.
in the middle column.
Yep.
Got it. That's where I was lost.
And the occupation ones, I can't use those, right? Those are automatic.
No, you get to take those points and put
And
it
those
into.
go in the middle ones.
Yeah, it goes into the ones on the left-hand side.
Oh, Okay.
99 as a cap.
Okay. So yeah, this is just a lot of number crunching, folks. I will
It's gonna
do
go great.
a lot of singing and dancing. In that I mean, I'm going to speak to the people who are already built and focus on them a bit. So Andy, we have a connect with Zach's character. Obviously, Zach's character is not finished,
Yep.
but we have a connect there. Now the idea of there being a connect with other characters in this is great. I think
Sure.
that one character that will kind of be fish out of watering is the
Farmer.
Farmer?
well, no. I think the
Oh.
farmer is probably connected to the
Well,
madam.
he's the most based in the actual setting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that him and Chody's character have a connect, right?
Real salt of the earth.
Okay.
Either Brent's character goes to Chody's character's facilities and utilizes what dollars he can for said services, or it could be the case that they are trying to get him into it. What's your appearance, Brent, on your character?
30.
Oh, never mind. They don't want him. They don't want.
Oh.
Look, I have a 50 strength, a 30 con, 30 appearance, 40 size, and 50 intelligence.
I love your character, Brent.
I got like a decent dex, and I don't even know what power is used for, but it's high.
Okay.
You gotta have a good name, Brent.
Well,
What's
you know
the name
what?
gonna be?
Here we go. Because power is interesting, right? It's kind of like this nebulous kind of like eldritch thing, right? It's like a your power.
Mental fortitude, your.
It's also your kind of like will, right? In a sense. So it could be the case that in high school you weren't very attractive, but like you got with one girl and like now you're like the talk of the town, a la with that character from Game of Thrones, right? So maybe a lot of girls, even though you're not the most attractive, comely fellow, they understand you to be kind of like a reliable individual when it comes to certain effects. So it could be the case that you have a reputation for being kind of reliable and trustworthy and emotionally impactful in the town.
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be real sad when this character dies because it rolled phenomenally.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Brent's.
Except for luck
Wait,
and
no.
power.
Oh, that's fair. We know Brent's character is going to die. Brent's playing Brent's character.
That's true.
It's true.
It's the pattern there.
There's
I don't have the half orc passive to keep me alive. I guess.
But John, I
Can't do
think there
You're
are
a
connections
farmer.
to be made between some of the other characters too.
Yeah.
I think that my character. What's your character's name, Chandler?
It's gonna be Otmar.
Otmar. I think Arthur and Otmar might be connected because if he's on the hunt for something up in these neck of the woods, Arthur might be a good person to go through to scope things out, and that might lead Otmar to whatever
Well, I
Zach's dilettante is called.
Zach and Chandler's characters have a similar kind of reason for stopping in Arkham first, right? So Byko is going to be this town that if you just plop into, you're not going to be able to talk to the common people there about the things that you kind of hoity-toity, elites are wanting to talk about and deal with. You're not going to Byko with the intent of like meeting the common clay and like having cool discussions with them. You're literally just observing them like they were, weird growths on the eldritch fundamentals or the arcane matters or the art interests that you have. They're just these things that are there in the same spot you need to go look in. So I think it is kind of an interesting kind of method for those two to be these characters that come to Arkham first and kind of engage it that way. But I think that Chandler, just based on what I've got of your character so far, I don't know if Atmar would be interested in kind of doing that. I think maybe more of just a pop in on a motor bus and just be done with it.
Yeah, because a big thing with this character that I wanted to check with you if we could pull off is that I want him to believe heavily in voodoo, but there's no voodoo score, of course. There's an occult score, but I want him to be very, very skeptical of like cosmic occult, but be very, very hardcore in his beliefs in voodoo.
So it's like a cultural specific thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
I will
That
say,
caused a little bit of oddities among, like, especially like with Andy's character being like a really intelligent professor and everything, and me just vehemently denying that that stuff's real, but really believing that my sector is.
so real quick on my, just from my perspective, and I'm okay with it, but there's some caveats. So obviously, as a group of 5 white dudes, 6 white dudes, and voodoo being a very kind of religious practice, as long as it's handled sensitively, I'm okay with it. As long as we're not like using tropes about voodoo, we're actually following the religion and like understanding it. I'm fine with
Including
it.
accents that can go off the
We
rails.
do not want any crazy
I
accents.
don't do accents.
Okay.
I don't do accents at all.
Sensitivity is a main important part for me. Again, we definitely do not want it to be a gimmick. I don't like gimmicks, but if the reason that is coming into play is because you're very interested in the religion and you're very interested in how it will intersect with this kind of strange eldritch shit, that sounds dope, and I'm cool
Yeah.
with that.
Oh yeah, no, nothing but respect to the stuff. I mean, my stepdad was Cajun.
Oh, okay.
I've had 2 stepdads. One was Hispanic from Mexico City, and one was from New Orleans, and he was very, very in the practice of hoodoo and voodoo. So
Perfect.
that's why I was like, no, I know a little bit about this stuff to help out.
Yeah, I'm just mainly from my perspective. I don't know much about it, but it'll give me
yeah,
an
you're
opportunity to study a bit here, and yeah, so that I can interplay it a bit better. Obviously, it won't be like present, like because there isn't in Massachusetts. I can't think of how many pokers or like voodoo individuals are going
There's
to
a
be.
voodoo dude in there.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Who's to say, frankly?
Yeah, yeah. We'll find out, I guess. But yeah, that's absolutely fine. I'm okay with that background. And so, would you be someone who would go to the school to try and kind of engage with the university before you just entered the town, seeking out what you sought, or would you want to go and speak to like the townsfolk and kind of engage it that way?
For how he's set up and everything, I would most likely want to do townfolk first.
Gotcha.
To see if they trusted the university.
Gotcha. Okay, and
Because
something
if they didn't trust them, I'm still like trying to be like, you're supposed to be for the people and not for the big groups and everything. So if the group doesn't trust them, I don't know if I would trust them.
And something I want to engage in too is I mentioned that a lot of people travel through here and head to Arkham, right? Baiko's kind of in the way, on the way, depending on how you look at it, if you're coming from the south especially. So it would not be insane to presume that your character would, even if they are headed to Arkham, you're stopping in Baiko first, you might as well take a gander around, see what you can learn. So, Andy, on that, similarly, like a lot of people are kind of engaging the city from the north, Arkham, and then kind of coming to Baiko as well. So it may be the case that you are aware of Altum, right? Did I get that right?
More.
Sorry. And Otmar. Okay, I have the spelling now. It would be perceivable or presumable that you would have an understanding of who Otmar is as an academic, since that's the concept there. And Otmar may have made his intentions known that he is going to be arriving in Arkham at a specific time. And so you may be engaging Baiko beforehand, thinking that you have some time to kind of go there and engage it with Zach's character before Otmar arrives, and you have to have that discourse. And then when you meet in the town, it'll be like, oh, hey, and then that engagement will happen there instead.
Sure.
Okay, cool. And so, again, we do want to focus too on the connections in the town. So it will very much come as no surprise to anybody, but we're kind of forming a divide here, right? We have the outsiders on the left side of the screen, and we have the residents on the right side of the screen. But I think there's interplay here. Like, there's definitely room for either knowing about others for one reason or another, or maybe directly knowing one another for one reason or another. So Chodi's character is very much a madam who works with women who are pleasure specialists.
And ex-husband is a very famous gangster from a bigger city.
But again, I don't think that's going to be something that these fucking nerds are gonna really know about.
I mean, watching the news and stuff, maybe they stole something, or
I don't think
In
they
the
care about
tabloids?
that. There's no
They
watching
don't
the
care.
news. There's no TVs.
I mean, paper.
Yeah, fair. But I think most of it's local. Like again, it's very much kind of localized. Like, so I don't know if it would be as big a deal. But I was going to say though, it could be the case that Arthur Haynes might have proclivities. Perhaps not. I'm not going to try and determine what Arthur's tastes are, but maybe not in the city, but out in the town. Take a simple car ride over. Who knows? If you don't think that's good, then obviously maybe you've heard about her from other people at the school, and so you're familiar with this madam who runs in Baiko with women who are up and coming, very engaging, especially in the era, to see like a woman kind of create a bit of a power structure in a
Yeah.
small town.
Or what if one of her clients has, sort of leaves some sort of weird thing there that somehow finds its way into Zach's character's hands, and so like there's a way to thread things together,
Yeah, I understand. So it would probably be more likely that it falls into your hands and that forms a connect for you to Zach's character. Since Zach is kind of entering into the space, not understanding of any of Arkham or Baiko's kind of like minuscule nature. He's very kind of high end coming down to the place, staring down his nose at it. Right, Zach?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty much
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So it might be the case that they left an item that would kind of denote who the artist might be and give you kind of an understanding as to who that might be. So you would have this item, this object that was given to the university, perhaps sold to the university. And I would say it would be a hand mirror made out of a dark wood with a very interesting carving on the back of a single angel. But what's very interesting about the piece for you, Andy, is that the angel's face was either left uncarved or a very high effort was taken to remove it and make it look
To
like
remove
it was
it?
to make it look like the face was never there. You can't tell for certain whether it was just never carved or if it was kind of shorn clean.
Is the mirror steel?
The mirror is steel, yeah.
Got it. So it's a companion piece. Interesting. Okay.
Hey, should I put any investment into the art craft that is like a voluntary skill?
Do you think you'd be an artist?
No. No.
Is that what you're asking?
Andy said to input a praise, but that's an existing skill, and that just made things complicated on the character sheet.
Sure.
So I'm gonna say no. I have no additional art or skill beyond
I like
buying
art,
and selling.
but I can't do it. I can't do art.
That's fine. I know
Oh.
what's good because I tell them what's good.
I just looked at the chat and the Twitch. And Brent's in this game and is trying to burn the town down already.
Already.
It's you
Can't
live
be
there,
no
bud.
Cthulhu- Can't be no
That's where all
Cthulhu
your
if the
cows
town's on
are.
fire, okay?
Well, that's actually good point,
It's,
Zach.
it's barbecue.
We say cows. What kind of farmer are you? Like, because obviously
Trees.
a cow farmer is not a farmer. It's a rancher, right? Like you have kind of differences here. To give you an idea of Baiko's environs, Baiko itself is built inside of like this hole in the ground. I'll go ahead and move us to the map for
Like
it.
a box canyon kind of thing.
Kinda. So as you can see, it kind of has like higher terrain that kind of goes around it. Okay, or sorry, inverse. It's on a higher piece. My brain is dumb. Don't. It's kind of on a plateau. It's kind of on a higher hill. I am dumb. Do not let me miss. There's another town that's in a hole. It's not this town. Baiko's on a hill. So around it are just plains, fields, grazing property, and I'd presume quite a bit of orchards as well. And if it's not featured in this small little town segment, it is just smaller bits of town that are kind of out and about. This is the center of town. This is where everybody goes to go if they're buying, selling, etc. But outside of this, there are just a bunch of farms and the like. And I'd say the population of Baiko in its entirety is probably no more than 800 people. Taking into account the small little hamlets and the like that are near here. So, what kind of farmer are you? Googling types of farmers.
Trying to see like what kind of crops that are more common
in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
Tobacco.
that's probably what I'll go with then. Yeah.
It'd be very popular.
Yeah.
If you think my character won't smoke, you're an pimple.
In the 1920s, it looks like it would have been lettuce, broccoli, peppers, eggplants, tomatoes, tobacco, Brussels sprouts, celery, cauliflower for growing. I don't think corn is a big deal in the region.
Yeah, I think I'll go with tobacco.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of tobacco was grown in New England for a while, and then they started doing it in cheaper locations, I believe, somewhere around the 30s or 40s, like once they started kind of post-war kind of booming.
Plenty of hog farmers as well.
Yeah. And, a cow rancher, like, wouldn't be uncommon either, I don't think. Milking cows, that's everywhere. Everybody does that.
Yeah. Everybody could be like a tobacco farmer with like maybe like a couple horses and like maybe like a cow or something for like personal use milk.
Okay. So then, yeah, I'm okay with giving caveats when it comes to, like, ownership of things. We gave Zach a mansion that's presumably filled with shit tons of art pieces, and didn't even just kind of sidestep that.
I genuinely wasn't listening.
Yeah, that happened.
I have a
Yeah.
mansion.
Yeah, so I'm assuming Dilettante
right.
has a high credit score, right?
I'm putting a whole lot of points into it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Then that's wonderful. Great. Yeah, you have a big house. It's just not here, and it's filled with art and shit. So you're a well-to-do Dilettante.
Oh, wait. How's credit score separate from credit rating? There's a skill called credit rating.
Great question.
You could, oh, hold on.
Thank God Andy's also boggled, because I was like...
I was like, why am I putting points into this when it told me right off the bat that I have a good credit score?
So credit rating is
Or credit rate, yeah.
skills. Credit rating's the same.
The skill is how much you make. The other one is how much you have.
Oh.
You have 0% in credit rating to start with.
Right.
And it says, a measure of how prosperous and financially confident the investigator appears to be. Money opens doors. If the investigator is attempting to use his or her financial status to achieve a goal, then use of credit rating skill may be appropriate. Credit rating can be used in place of appearance to gauge first impressions.
When we were talking about credit score before, it's credit rating score. Yeah, got it. So
Page 35.
I think it said that it had like a preset though in the class description. Did it not?
It did.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So Dilettante.
I don't want to go back because it'll reset my stuff.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, Dilettante. I'm gonna go check it out. So credit rating is 50 to 99.
Yeah, that's super high.
So that's okay. So it can't be below 50, but it still takes 50 of my occupation points.
Correct.
I see now.
It's kind of like a mandatory. Yeah.
Right.
He's gonna be rich and hot. That's
Yeah.
that's
a bit unfair.
Welcome to America.
Welcome to America.
I'm hot, therefore I am also rich.
Isn't
So let's just bump
Brent,
that
I
up.
have to ask, what is your credit rating with your 30 appearance?
18.
Well,
Well, that's
talking
a
about
farmer
me.
thing. That's the farmer thing.
Stay where
right?
you fucking belong.
18.
18, you said. So let's discuss your farm. You don't own it.
His farm's at the very bottom of Baiko. The lowest level of bike.
Yeah, I would say that
Flood all the time.
you as a farmer with that low credit rating, I would say that you don't own that farm. You may own a house on the property, and it's very much the case that
I'm gonna put accounting.
I mean, if you want to put more
as
points
low
in
as I
credit
can.
rating, you can. But for you to be financially kind of
He's on
he's
the
on the
phone.
phone.
I'm sure he's listening, but he's also on the phone.
That's fine. I'll wait. I was just
Oh,
telling
man.
him he's poor.
Well,
30 appearance in 18. You're not persuading anyone. They're gonna look at you and be like, "Go." He's gonna be sitting near Zach the whole time. Be like,
and
no. You talk to him. You talk to him.
you didn't have to go back, Zach. You posted it back at 5:38 in the chat. You got it right
What?
there, buddy. In the chat and Discord, you posted the snapshot from.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
We had it
see,
right
in
there.
that
Purple
snapshot, I typed in appraise on art/craft,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an actual existing skill,
Appraises its own skill.
and that fucked with it.
Yeah.
Like it was trying to tell me I was trying to take appraise twice because I typed it correctly, and it read that as existing.
That's funny.
It was real funny.
Character mans are too smart.
If I go back, it will repopulate as appraise as a separate skill. I've done it several times.
Too funny.
Uh,
And since we kind of have, I'll throw a couple handouts real quick. So, this is what Baiko looks like downtown.
Ooh.
And this is what we, as you can see, just a very simple
They have a bookshop.
town. They do have a bookshop. That's
I
very
like
important.
that. I like that.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah,
jeweler. Yeah, very, very cool little town, right? And then
Middletown.
this, I did actually look
It
at
does look a
Middletown
little like
maps
Middletown.
and Middletown
I'd say it's
bits.
freaking Middletown.
So this right here, those of you who are looking, is the county map. The top there is county map of the county of Bologna. The yellow marker
yeah.
is Baiko, and as you can see, Baiko is larger than what we're going to discuss here in a second. So there's a lot of open grazing land here. There's a lot of open space. The main population of Baiko is farmers. It is a farmer community. Now, what is known to the historians of the group, so perhaps the occultist, perhaps others, is that there used to be more kind of grounded settlements here during the early American time, but they kind of all moved out of these smaller locations and kind of these hard to maintain cities and town or early pre cities, and kind of all drag themselves into the central point of Arkham. And Arkham is the red marker on the county. So a lot of these other cities that are present here are similar to Baiko in that they had larger populations in the past and have slowly kind of downgraded as Arkham has become the main to do. And then the map at the bottom, I can't show it or scroll on it because maybe I can. Yeah, there we go. So this orange marker is Essex County in real life, but it is Bologna County in the fake world we've created. And this is Massachusetts.
So what is your credit rating again, Zach? I mean, Brent?
18.
Yeah, so that falls within the average credit rating, actually.
Does it?
On the lower level, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think an average credit rating would have a farm, though, right? Like, I don't think they would own property.
You could.
I mean, back in the 20s, yeah.
Okay.
Just a small one.
People did own property once upon a time.
It was cheaper then? I don't
So if you have a credit rating below 10, you're poor.
Oh, okay. So he's like...
If you're above 50, you're wealthy. Average is 10 to 49. That's where my character lies.
Got it. So I think that's fair then. Let's go ahead and say farm, small amount of tobacco, not a huge plot of land, but, maybe 10 or so acres. And then you have cows, but not a lot of grazing property because you're using most of it for tobacco growing. So mainly what you do is you kind of like congregate with other farmers and use kind of like a parcel of land in the middle of your kind of plots to use for grazing territory. And then you mostly use your cows as milking cows, not for slaughtering. And you probably only have two.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because you saw a cow like, ching.
Yeah.
That's a
I
lot
just
of
want to
money.
make sure you said that our credit rating skill has to be a certain number.
Based on your class,
There is
or
a
Your
occupation.
minimum
occupation
maximum.
has a minimum maximum. Yeah.
Shoot. Okay.
What's the minimum for criminal?
I don't know. I'm gonna
Pretty
have to
low, I
Google it.
bet.
Hold on. It's in the occupation section.
Shody has physical, or sorry, Andy has physical book.
Yeah. Criminal.
Actually,
It depends on the kind of criminal you are. Are you an assassin, a bank robber, a bootlegger, or a thug? A burglar, a conman, a criminal, a gun mall, a fence, a forger, a smuggler, a street punk.
That it?
That's it.
Muggle
I
it
don't-
down.
I think thug is appropriate.
Thug would do.
Could work.
Thug.
Well, no. I think of thug. I'm thinking like street.
Henchman.
Yeah, I think of a henchman. That's what I'm thinking.
You're thinking of just a goon.
Yeah.
Jody's got a little enterprise.
Yeah.
So we might need to change your occupation.
Backroom dealings.
You could be a forger, a burglar, conman, criminal. Just a classic criminal. There is criminal, freelance, solo.
Freelance
What
solo.
is that one? That's fine. Yeah.
Credit rating is 5 to 65.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
pretty big.
Minimum 5.
Minimum 5.
Perfect. We're good then.
What are you at?
11.
So you're just
So
above
you
the
are
poverty line.
just about, yeah.
Yeah, she's just starting out.
So the girls are getting most of their money. Is
Right.
what's happening there. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm keeping afloat. That's why I'm so crazy about someone taking them from me or hurting them. They're
And you're
messing with
also
money.
you're also
Just
keeping
get-
your head low so you aren't getting caught out by your ex-husband. Got it. That makes a lot of sense, and we like it. Narratively, it is satisfactory. Okay. Okay, so we've got me moving this little guy right here. Okay, so we've got everybody built, right? We're all on the same page. Has everybody's built their skills?
I'm still putting skills in, but I
Okay,
can
take your time.
come
Take your
back to
time.
this.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm still gonna riff a bit on connections. So, Omar's coming into town. Like that's gonna be you don't know anybody. All the connections we are going to do are going to be in case 1. They're going to be session 1 of this game. So Otmar is not going to know anybody from anybody. However, you are aware of Arthur Haynes, PhD, who is a member of the professor community at Arkham, who is in a similar field as you. Is that a fair assessment, Andy
Yeah.
and Chandler?
Could I provide another
Yes. Yes.
another potential connection?
Go.
So during the time, there were also these like societies that people would join. And so, like for example, my character is part of what is the regular thing?
It's a Freemason.
No, he
I know what you're talking
belongs
about.
to the Golden Order of Hermetic Dawn, a sort of a group of hold on a second.
You've been playing Oblivion, haven't you?
Yeah, man. A group that discusses occult texts, kind of like a book club for enthusiasts. They're dabblers, really.
These might be terrible skills, but I'm ready.
So I wonder if like Chandler's character could like be involved in some sort of related group.
So this is
That might make
very interesting to note because the real life organization, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, existed up until 1903. It
Okay.
changed its name after that point, but it exists here.
Oh, I just made lore. I love it.
Awesome. Oh wow, they've got a really cool symbol too. Fucking love that. That is. I'm gonna paste it in there. Oh wait, I'm gonna try.
Andy, you just gave him the keys to the kingdom.
Oh my god, you just gave me so much lore. I'm invested, folks.
Yeah, I can be 100% down with that.
I'm gonna see if I can't get that in the visible for the viewing on the screen.
Wow,
That
that's
is-
pretty great.
That's too much.
That is a
Are
lot.
you kidding me?
It's a cool logo.
I'm trying to
No,
hold on, Elizabeth. Chill.
That's so busy.
It's
You
so
gotta
busy.
be kidding me.
All right, we needed a new graphic
Stay in
design
your lane,
person.
Holy Order of the Dawn.
Oh my god, that is so rad. I love it. It's so occult. That's the greatest
If
thing
your
ever.
thing can't be like scratched on a school desk, get out of here.
Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna send it to you in a DM. She's
So
freaking
much.
out. There, I sent it to you. I can't load it
That's
on my
way too
screen.
much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, that's fun. That's a lot. There's a lot going on there. Yeah, damn. That's okay. Well, you definitely if inspiration were a thing,
Thank you.
it dissolved in 1903 in real life, but in our version of reality, it still exists. What would you say? Are you high tiered in that, Andy? Do you think in the Hermetic Order?
No. So, Arthur is pretty young. He's like 32. So he's been involved for maybe a couple of years, and I sort of wrote in my backstory that he like goes to these meetings, and oftentimes because of his knowledge and connections, will bring books to read as sort of like the stuff. So he's not involved in any kind of
What
serious metaphysical stuff at this point. I'm pegging him more like he's got a lot of education, but doesn't have a whole lot of real world experience. He maybe knows about some texts. He might even have acquired a couple of them.
What I would say is there was a secret chief, so those are the transcendent cosmic authorities of the order, that lived in Baiko. But you know he passed away, strangely enough, in 1903.
Mm,
So how old is your character, Andy?
32.
So you'd have been too young to have met the secret chief. So most of what you've gotten from the order has been kind of connective tissue with the members who are still present in Arkham. And did you make up that name, or like was that it from the book?
No, I knew that name, and that name is probably through Cthulhu. You know what I mean?
Dope.
Like it has a list of such organizations, some of which were in real life.
Yeah, this one being one of them. Yeah, it does have its own kind of wiki page, which
Yeah,
kind of
I see it.
outlines the details. We'll kind of make it our own, obviously, because we're in our own world, so we can do that. And they don't exist anymore, or so we understand it to be. Maybe they do. Maybe they'll find us, and maybe they'll start watching our show. Um, but yeah, very cool. I like it a lot. Do you want to be a member of that society, Chandler? Do you want Otmar to be a member of that society or no?
Yeah, I think actually that would be a really good way to like combine the characters to make them work well together.
Okay.
And also, I mean, again, my guy is his job is collecting rare books, is finding rare books and antiquities. So, um, being able to access an order that is much greater than the kind of like uh, lower bayou communities and such would probably be very helpful actually, and something I wouldn't have thought of. So
Yeah, and
it's
so this
actually
is
a really cool thing.
this is definitely a magical organization that kind of believed in the kind of, it looks like the Rosicrucian kind of mentality. I don't know how many people here are familiar with Rosicrucianism or like the kind of metaphysics of that kind of philosophy, but effectively, common day Masons kind of have similar roots. It's like a lot of tarot divination, astrology. So there's a lot of with what most people understand voodoo magic to be outside of voodoo. Again, I'm not a understander of voodoo, but it sounds like there's a lot of interlocutors here. There's not like, or not interlocutors, interconnective tissue here. So that does make sense.
I only knew of the name you just said for alchemy. I did not know it for the other stuff. So
Oh, gotcha. Rosicrucianism, you mean? Or
yeah,
yeah,
Rosicrucian is she has a not that there's a famous book that had that name on it that
Yep.
dealt with alchemy.
correct.
That's the only thing I ever heard
They
of.
deal with alchemy. They deal with all sorts of metaphysical kind of magical properties. very interesting stuff. And a lot of shit I've been watching to lead up to this, so it's
I'm gonna
very
send you.
cool.
I'm gonna try to post a larger document that's from the Investigator's Handbook. It's called Investigator Organizations. The whole chapter on it.
On this specific order?
No, on sample investigator organizations.
Got it.
So you just sort of see there's a whole bunch of them out there.
Love it. And so, cool. So then the two of you are both members of the Golden Order of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Is the
I see a name and symbol.
correct? Yeah, and you. Well, no, it's actually proper here, and then is what I was able to find. That said, so you two have that kind of connective tissue. So you are aware that another member of the order will be arriving at Arkham soon. You think that you have enough time to enter into the town of Baiko prior to their arrival. So you enter into the town of Baiko and will find them there. So there will be that kind of, oh, hey, kind of situation.
Secret handshakes, all that.
Yeah, and then the prologue material that we have will be Zach's character. Who do we have a name yet, Zach, or no?
No, I haven't got that.
Well, his name is Zach.
We'll get there.
I'm just teasing.
It won't be safe.
It won't be Zach. That's a good idea. Don't name him Zach, or her Zach, or them Zach. So
It is male. I've got that.
okay. Dude,
They are male.
for shooter. Okay, so that he will be going with Andy's character, Arthur Haynes, to Baiko to investigate the lead up of the mirror. So when Zach comes in to the community, having sent communications to you, either by the tappy tap telegram, that's the word, or by letter.
Messenger pigeons.
Messenger pigeons are also something that existed in the 1920s.
I sent a courier.
A courier is also a thing.
I could afford it.
You can afford a courier. So you received correspondence from Zach's character, and it basically gave you details on the mirror. And the first thing that you thought about was the hand mirror that was in your department's access. Do you think it would be once Zach gets there? Zach wants it, right? I'm assuming that if
Yeah.
Andy's character Arthur says there's a companion piece to the mirror you have back at home, you're gonna want it. And I'm assuming when you arrive there, you're also gonna have photographs of your mirror. Is that correct? Just so you could show Andy.
Yeah, it'd be reasonable.
You're not bringing the mirror with you, are you?
No.
Okay, too bad.
I could.
Yeah, but you can afford it. What did you get your credit rating up to? 99?
I was aiming for 99. I went back again, and it's all fucked to hell. So we might have to clean this up here in a bit.
So I want Andy. I want you to wear.
Oh, there it goes. That's
I'm gonna
why.
need you to buy an Indiana Jones hat and wear it.
I got it up to 95.
The remainder of this section of the campaign, and then Zach, I'm gonna need you to
I'm
buy
very lackluster at this.
a three-piece suit with tails, and I'm gonna need you to wear it for the rest of the game. Even though we can't see the tails, I need to know that they're there, and I need to. I need to know. I just need to know that they're there. Because this is now a dress-up game. Okay, so I'm looking at the thing I got sent on the Investigator's Handbook. Okay.
So these are just some sample organizations, just if you're interested in getting a flavor of what people were doing at the time,
So I can,
or what they can be doing,
and I can use this as a template to form our version of the Hermetic Order, is what you're saying?
or potential rival organizations, or all kinds of ridiculous stuff.
I already have an understanding as to who the villains in this are, and I don't think there are any organizations yet. There will be one in the 50s, so I definitely know. I mean,
Never mind.
stuff. Anyway.
Stuff.
Cool. So, Zach's skill spent, Chody's skill spent?
Yes, I am in backstory.
Okay.
I got mine.
And so what is that saying for you?
What does backstory say?
Oh, it doesn't have anything that, questions-wise, it's just you filling
As far as ideology beliefs, I picked one that seemed the most reasonable. Take the result, make it specific and personal to your investigator. Is there something Is there something I should be keeping in mind in writing this? Is it hyper important to like stick to this?
It will be like because this is kind of formulating your belief structure. It sounds like. So if you're very faithful, this might be important for you and to how you respond to kind of being
No.
confronted with the eldritch matters of the world. If you're atheistic or agnostic or what have you, I know
So I
that.
took the money as power.
Okay, you don't give a fuck. Okay. Yeah, I don't think that.
I'm just gonna type I want it. It's mine.
No worries.
Meaningful location. Wandering my estate.
And Chody, how are you doing on your end?
I'm done.
100%?
Yep.
Okay. And so let's discuss your character too. So as you can see, there are a few buildings that are present here. Some of them have already been marked. I assume that you would probably not be too close to the school or the village hall. You'd probably be kind of away.
I would be in the lower end area.
Well, there's no lower end area because it's Byko. Byko is lower end. It's the whole place, buddy. There is no
Then
well-to-do.
over around the workshops or on Salisbury Street.
Sounds good. I think the one that looks like it's the most isolated is this one. Do you see it?
The one by like literally by itself.
Yeah. I think that's a
Yeah.
whorehouse.
Okay.
That's a brothel, sorry. Terminology is
Come
important.
on, man.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's fair to do. Now let's discuss how you acquired the property. For your
There was a madam who actually pulled me out of the dirt after I escaped from my husband. My prized possession is a knife that I used actually to stab him when he was trying to kill me because he was tying up loose ends because of something I found out. She came in, showed me how to become a working girl, was very tough, was not caring at all, but showed me how to be tough and work in the business and start that way to make on my own.
So you were basically a trophy wife kind of girl,
Yep.
right? You were, on
Yep.
the arm of the
Young,
big
pretty
to-do
girl.
gangster guy, and then once you basically caught wise of it, you stabbed him and left. Where this was south, right? This was in the south.
Yes.
Where were you at? New Orleans.
Yeah, a bigger city. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Somewhere to where a big fish, like he can be a smaller fish,
Well,
like there, but big fish here.
what we have is a person who's from New Orleans, so it's more likely the case that this person knows your face than anyone else because you were probably photographed with the big mafia guy or the big criminal organization guy, right?
Yeah.
What was Prohibition? We're in Prohibition. It was probably a Prohibition gangster type guy, right? Like somebody who's rum smuggling or like moving booze.
Yeah, you could make him live near or had near a port or owned a port or operated one.
Yeah.
And used it as like boat transfer and stuff.
But you would have pictures of him and like reporters trying to get questions to this guy and like ask him about his like illicit business. Like it's like he's known that he's a criminal, but like he's not like officially. There's nothing that can tie him to it. It's like a Capone situation.
That's kind of what I was going after. That's who I was focusing him after.
We love that. So the thing is like since Chandler's character Otmar is from New Orleans, it might be the case that if he sees you, he will recognize you because his character is from that area. And so there's like newspapers that will have that guy on there and his trophy wife attached to him. And so like if he keeps seeing something and then you go, I know you from somewhere, don't I? Who are you? And you're just like, don't even think about it. Don't even ask questions kind of deal, right?
It's going to be something where, like I said, it's been a long time, so definitely have changed.
How old's your character, Chody?
45.
So yeah, you'd be 11 years older than my character. I don't know how long ago it would have been that you like took off.
It might have been as a kid.
Age.
I think as a dynamic, it won't be Otmar's not going to be able to pinpoint you directly, right? He's not going to know your character, but like your face, your just the look of you is going to be familiar to him for some reason.
Fine.
I know we're not doing accents, but if like in character, would she have that accent though? Growing up down there and everything, that's not an easy one to shake.
Only when she gets angry.
Okay.
That was part of her training. Is it knocked it out of her, but when she gets angry, it'll slip.
That's good to know. Okay.
I like that narratively too. That's very fun. Okay, so then we have another connection. I love that. Kind of creating these kind of dynamics so you understand how your character will react and relate to the other players is very important for me because we're all starting from different locations. It's a very important session when we know what's going on. So Brent Farmer, we did kind of joke about and discuss, like, do you frequent a brothel?
I'd say probably.
There's nothing wrong with it.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that. It's illegal, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, nothing's legal if you ain't caught. Okay.
Right, and Bico, nobody cares. There are 2 cops.
Laws don't equal morals, Brent.
There are 2 whole cops, and it's like a literal. It's like what's the name of that show from back in the day? Oh,
Family Matters.
No,
Perfect Strangers.
No. The Andy Griffith
Full
show.
House.
The Andy Griffith
Step by
show.
step.
The Andy Griffith show. It's like the precursor to the Andy Griffith show. It's 2.
I thought you wanted old shows.
Family Matters is old. Oh God, I'm just gonna go ahead. And,
Fairly old.
I'm gonna go have a date with a toaster in the bathtub.
I don't even know what that show is. So.
Urkel. That's where.
What did you just say, Chandler?
I did. I've never heard of
Pretty old
that
show now.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. Oh wait, Brent, how old are you?
I'm 24 now.
Okay, damn. I thought you were
See,
close.
there's 2 of us. There's 2 of us.
You guys are adorable.
I think we started playing together when you were 22.
Me?
No, Brent.
Yeah.
That's
Been
crazy,
a couple
dude.
years.
We started playing with Andy, or I started playing with Andy.
And look
when
how
he
far
was
he's come.
50.
It was 10 years. It was 10 years, right?
Yeah, we've been together for about 11. Yeah, 2013,
Wow,
2014.
that's cool.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. I thought Brent was 12. Brent
We all
is
did.
still 12. And we love him. He's the best. Okay, so Brent, you're aware then of Chody's character. And Chody, you got a name for your character, right?
Bianca
Bianca. All right.
Del Morte.
Is it spelled Bianca? Like the kind of... Or is it
Yeah, he
spelled...
spelled it weird. He spelled it like Beyonka.
Oh, I literally went on Google and typed in Bianca to see how to spell it, and that's what came up.
Oh, weird.
That can't be the traditional spelling.
The traditional spelling is I understand it, and again, I might be wrong, but Bianca is Bianca.
Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
Bianca. Okay, and Brent, you have a character name as well, right? Raymond?
Yep, Raymond Rebels.
It's an R name? Fucking goddamn it. I thought it was just a D&D gimmick. But, okay, so Raymond is familiar with Bianca in that he has proffered services from her. Now, how old is Raymond?
17.
Yeah, definitely not the case that you would have caught her during her prime here and have engaged with her in fornications for money. So that makes sense. So you definitely do not know of Bianca's kind of early times here, or of the last madam. And what did you do with the last one, Jody? I kind of skimmed my
She
brain.
just died of old age.
She just
Put her
died.
to work.
Yeah, she died. I took over when she
Reduce,
died
reuse, recycle.
because I know that if I would have tried to take over or start my own thing here, she would have had me killed.
Some things are better when you're older, Zach. Just take them out. Take the teeth out. Anywho.
Traits. Picking traits.
Traits. Okay, perfect. So then we have a connection there. So you know Raymond is a reliable guy. The girls seem to like him.
Pays his bills and he's nice.
He does not. Yeah, I'm assuming you're not the type who's going to kind of stiff your bill. You're going to do everything the right as rain is. Am I getting the character concept right here, Brent?
Yeah.
You're a well-to-do, red-blooded American boy who is, definitely going to farm. So, also, if you survive this first act, it might be the case that you show up in the next bit, but it might be the case you died in World War II. Like, real talk. Like, it might just be the case that happened. I mean, it definitely sounds like he's someone who would volunteer or get drafted. America was weird. Okay, cool. So we have an Otmar to Andy connection. We have an Otmar to Bianca connection. We have... so the dilettante is connected to Arthur, but I don't think it's really going to be connected to anybody else because you're not from here, right? Where are we saying you're from, Zach? New York, like
New
big
York
city.
City.
Yeah, big city, big boy, the Big Apple. Okay. Yeah, not you're in the shadow. It was the Empire State Building built already? Was it
27. It was very close.
Empire State Building? It was built 1930 to 30.
30.
Yeah. Okay, so not yet. But again, possibly something we do in the narrative beat in between. And how old is your dilettante?
41. I think I rolled it.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're very much above this place. So when you go to Arkham, and we have that prologue discussion between you and Andy, kind of giving us a kind of understanding of what the narrative beat is going to be. You're going to be asking Andy's character about the mirror, and then he is going to show you the hand mirror. And you're going to want it. You're going to want to buy it.
Yeah.
Andy, I guess it would be the case that it would be the universities, right?
It depends on how you want to play that. I mean, so like, while on the one hand, Arthur is sort of collecting items for the university as part of his research and their collections, there are also cases where he might get things from like less savory characters that he's using for his individual, kind of more occultish research. So it depends on where this one would fit.
I guarantee the mirror is going to be something you're not you're not going to want to let go. And the reason why I say that is I explained to Zach something regarding his mirror. Would you have kept the mirror close to you? Like it would have been something you thought was interesting after a bit of kind of study, right?
I mean, so if he would definitely want to do study, so like he would have journals, and first he would sketch the mirror. He would take a photograph of the mirror as well, the front and the back, and he would consult whatever text would provide any information. I mean, can you tell me what I would find? Would I find that it has some sort of an occult?
Yes, absolutely.
Would it be something that's so? If it's something that like I don't know the mystery of, that would want me to look at it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the mirror itself was a craftsmanship, and it was a piece of 5 items, okay, that came as kind of a set. As you mentioned, it is an accompanying piece. So there's the hand mirror, there is the full mirror, there is a, oh God, what's the name of the little comfy desk that's not a desk that girls do makeup at?
Mm-hmm.
We need a girl in this game.
Oh, just wait for Elizabeth.
Yeah, okay, we'll just wait in the chat. Okay, 10-minute or 10-second delay. Vanity. I should know this. I've built one.
Yeah.
Vanity. There's
There she is. Yeah, the time.
An accompanying vanity.
The time delay doesn't help.
And then the other 2 pieces are, from what you understand from the details, are lost, but you understand what they might have been. A jewelry box and a set of combs.
I say a brush or something. Yeah.
Yeah, a set of combs.
When I look in the mirror, am I seeing myself back clearly?
So when you look in the mirror, you do see yourself back clearly, but at one point or another, if you spend a lot of time with it,
I would, as part of a study.
You will eventually, at some point, and it's minor, insignificant to you, and, well, actually more significant to you than it would have been to Zach's character. You do see a point where it appears that you are different in the mirror. And I want to stress the word different a bit for you since you are focusing on it. Like your clothing is different. Not so much your personage.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in some weird, different version of yourself.
Are there any like anachronistic things?
I wouldn't say anachronistic in a sense that it's like temporally wrong. I would say that it's not the style that you are currently wearing.
Got it.
Like the style of 1927 we understand it to be a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way that we're kind of describing it here. But in the mirror, for some reason, it's just skewed a bit. Like instead of having, like if ties are the thing, like full cravats, right? You've got a
Yep.
bow tie on for some reason.
Guys, I have a cursed mirror already, and we haven't even started playing yet.
Jealous.
I mean, so do I.
See, Brent? Oh, Brent is like,
Yep.
I want that mirror. How
You
do I
can't
get that
afford me.
mirror?
I don't know what inspiration would be in this game, but I want to give it to Chandler for saying it just shows you in jorts. Jorts is a great word.
It shows your deepest desire.
Jorts is your deepest.
Wearing jorts. Jorts making a comeback.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
We were all thinking it.
I
So-
was not thinking it.
So just so we understand, like the narrative beats for the first session are basically what we're determining are going to happen in this 0 session, and that will it'll snowball. So session 1 will basically determine session 2, and so on and so forth. The way I'm planning it. So as we've discussed, we have a narrative beat that's going to be Zach meeting with Arthur. And when I say Zach as Zach's character, sorry. Meeting with Arthur Haynes at the Academy in Arkham University. The second narrative beat will be, and probably actually switch it around. The first narrative beat will be Chandler, your character Otmar Pinette, arriving in Byko. And I'll narratively kind of describe the scene as it's kind of engaged and as we're moving to that location. The second narrative beat will be Zach's character, Arthur Haynes. The third narrative beat could very well be just an open setting area where either Otmar or Arthur are meeting with the local individuals in kind of the town square segment or general store location or somewhere where Raymond will be located. Where you'll kind of see him as a person who, I've lived in this town my entire life. I know everything about the town that there is to know. What do you need to know? I can be your guide kind of situation, right? And that will kind of lead from that connective tissue to very much kind of joining the person who is not the one who finds Raymond, either Otmar or Arthur, kind of seeing the other of those two, and then going, wait a minute, don't I know you from somewhere? Aren't you a member of the... And then do the hand gestures, the secret hand gestures to understand you're a member of the same order.
A lot of firewall jutsu real fast.
Right. Jutsus are fired, right? I believe it's... Right? Something like that. I don't know. And then...
You do a turn.
I may have done a Macarena. And then ultimately... the kind of thrust will kind of go to understanding someone who knows the people of the town. And that will lead us to Bianca. Now, what I want to mention regarding Bianca is, and to make sure the connective tissue is present, Andy, your character knows that not only was a member of the Hermetic Order present in Byko up until 1903 and they passed away, but also that the artist who crafted the mirror you have in your possession and the mirror that Zach's character has in his possession were crafted by an artist here. The last living relative of that individual goes by the last name Revels. So you would
Revels.
know that Raymond Revels is related to the artist. Important, however,
Okay.
Raymond Revels does not know anything real about his grandfather, who would be the minimum of who you would expect to be the person to know about the Revels kind of backline. The person who would have the most connections that Raymond would know of would be Bianca, because Bianca is basically, from what I understand, as a madam of the brothel, she's also interconnected with a lot of the people in the town because they come to her for services, and so she kind of gets the secrets and understands the lore. She's a spider in that way. Is that fair to say, Jody?
That is exactly what you're
I'm sorry, I
Information
missed-
is high tier for her.
Yep, 100%.
Is one of the characters Raymond? I'm sorry.
Brent.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, Brent is Raymond. Oh,
Brent is
Raymond.
Raymond Rebel.
But he's a 17-year-old kid. And what's your relationship with your dad? Is it good? Is it fine? Are we
He's
playing?
dead.
Okay, and when did he die?
Perfect. We're not visiting him.
About 2 years ago.
Okay, so very young for you. So you didn't get a lot of information from him. And also property, you didn't get a lot from him, like the farm, right? So
Yep.
you also know that the farm that your dad has wasn't your original family estate. Your family estate was located near where you're at, but your dad had to sell it because of the depression. And so like the depression hit what, 19 Googling it.
29.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp of the
We're not
depression.
even in the depression.
It hasn't actually started yet. We're the financial economy is going fucking
No, I got it.
haywire right this second.
I got it. Your dad had to sell his property because of prohibition. Your dad was making wine. You were originally a vineyard. And so he had to sell his property because he couldn't afford to keep it because he couldn't sell wine. So, perfection. So they sold it. You kept a small parcel of it, the 10 acres I mentioned. And because of that disjunction, your dad basically was still drinking, but he couldn't sell any of it, and he killed himself with alcoholism, as is usually the case. I mean, not like he was making it poorly, it's just he drank a shit ton. Even if it's made correctly, it'll still kill you. Perfect. Solid stuff. So we're going to narratively kind of focus on Raymond a little bit more here for a second. How much do you think you would have paid attention to your dad's stories about your granddad or your great granddad, who is really what we're looking at here as the crafter?
I'm gonna say probably very little.
You
He
don't
was
give a
more
shit.
like he just like only ever there just to get a little money and leave again.
Yeah. One of the main things you do know, and it's just this very kind of minuscule thing that you would understand, is your line, your family, the Rebels, have been present in Baiko for a long time. You don't know why that's the case, and you're disconnected from them, but you very much understand that you and your family have been here for as long as you've known. Do you think that your character would be the type of person to take a motor carriage to Arkham just to spend a day, or is he very much just like a homebody, like a small town guy who's not really going to explore?
He's not gonna explore.
Okay, perfect. So there's no reason for Andy's character to know you other than by name. So as you are just learning this stuff, the individual that you learn is the crafter of the 5 set that I mentioned, is Gabriel Revels, your great grandpappy. What's your dad's name?
Ryan.
His dad's name is Richard.
Heck yeah.
So many R's.
Well, the only one I'm not giving him is Gabriel because that's important. It's important.
He
But
went by his middle name.
everything else I gave R's. Gabriel is narratively important as we get a little biblical. Okay, Andy, you got that notated?
So that the Gabriel, I didn't get the other in between names. but I
Gabriel
have
Rebels was the crafter of the artifice, the stuff
Right,
that
and
we
he's
have.
the great grandfather.
Great grandfather of the only. Well, you don't have the name
Right.
of the last or the current living member. Gabriel's son was Richard, but you do not know beyond that who you're looking for. Because
Okay.
you have to go into the town to get that info. That wouldn't be info. Who gives a shit, right? Because your granddad didn't do anything, and your dad didn't do anything and fucked up a lot, and you're just a guy. You're just who's writing books about you? Now your great granddad, little do you know, was awesome and made cool shit, and now rich
Weird.
people are trying to find it.
George.
So I guess to say the vanity that I mentioned, Brent, would be the only piece of your dad's property that you kept. Now it is kind of just like a weird piece of furniture that you have, but I'm assuming your guy is not really a guy who gives a shit about the aesthetic of
Yeah,
their.
as long as it does the job I need it to, it's fine.
It's basically a desk, right? And so you've turned it into a desk that has a mirror on it. And so you do all your paperwork there, all your bill paying, all that happens there. And the mirror, it's really weird to you. Like, you've been living with it for your entire life, and once you started using it as a desk, you've noticed that sometimes when you look up at the mirror, for some strange reason or another, it's like you're different. And in this alternate, like, view of yourself, you're rich looking. Like, you look like well-to-do. Like, you look dapper.
Like that.
And so you like it. Like, the desk is definitely kind of, it's like your place of, like, focusing up, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I think that, we've got all our connections, right? And everybody's characters are completely 100?
Outside of the name, yes.
We just need a name for Zach.
Come
You're
on.
not going with Harold Hank like you said earlier.
What?
What wasn't it you that said Harold Hank in there somewhere?
Where
Never
did
mind,
I
keep
say
going without
that?
me. Keep going without me.
I thought about the name Henry, but when the hell did did you get in there?
I do like the name Henry. That's a good one. But I want a more French last name.
Why does it have to be French?
I don't know, because you're kind of pompous sounding.
Since when?
French typically have pompous sounding last names.
Like Dupre?
Like Dupre. If you name your character Henry Dupre, I will be very sad, though.
French surname.
I mean, change the H in Henry to an R, and you got a pretty good name going on.
Renry.
No.
Yep.
Rarthur Haynes, Rotmer Pinay, Rianka.
Yeah.
Lefebvre.
Lefebvre.
Henry Lefebvre.
You sure you don't want to go Pop? Last call. Let's go.
Fine.
Andy suggested Pop.
I'll figure out a last. He's Henry right now.
Henry is fine. That's all I need is a first name. Okay. So Henry meets with Arthur.
Higgins.
That is scene 1. Oh, ooh, Henry Higgins? Is that what you just suggested? That's good. I do like that. What was? Oh God, what was the name of the art?
My Fair Lady.
Yeah,
I was gonna name him Milburn, but that's
Milburn's good too. What's the name of the guy who was the subject matter for Citizen Kane?
Oh gosh.
Googling.
don't know.
The newspaper guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Charles Foster Kane was the character in Citizen Kane, but that wasn't the real life inspiration.
I was also thinking Fitzgerald.
I like Fitzgerald. That's a really good
I was
one,
thinking
actually.
Henry Fitzgerald.
I really
Seems
like
a
that.
hoity-toity name. We'll go with
That's-
Henry Fitzgerald.
I like that. I don't have to look up.
Oh gosh, I really love that because it's the Gatsby thing where
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gatsby was like trying to pretend.
It
to
scratches
be,
some itches, guys. Don't worry. I thought about it plenty in that 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Plenty.
That's all I need. Don't read into that. Where's my name?
So, scene 1 in session 1, in case 1, will be the meeting of Arthur and Henry. We'll have that discussion in Arkham, and then the transfer. No, sorry, rewind. Scene 1 will be Otmar Pinay arriving in Byko. Scene 2 will be the meeting of Henry Fitzgerald and Arthur Haynes, PhD, in Arkham, and then their transportation from Arkham University to Byko via motorcar. Scene 3 will be, let's go ahead and decide who it's going to be. I think Otmar, narratively, because Otmar has yet to have a connection with anybody, would be a better meet for Raymond Connect. So you would meet with Raymond Revels at this point. Now, he is basically just kind of coming to you because you seem to be of money and is offering his assistance with whatever you want in the towns that you're traveling and like looking into the town. And that'll be basically a very stereotypical bait shop kind of like thing. Like a random person approaches you, tries to help you with your stuff, and then the connect between Henry Fitzgerald and Arthur Haynes into the town with the mirror, the hand mirror, to Bianca will be the next scene after that. So that's kind of like the gradient that we're moving to. And then once we kind of seed these points, we'll have the connect between the two groups, which will be Otmar and Arthur, knowing each other by picture, because of their connection with the Order. Okay? And that should fuse us into a single group in case one. Anybody have any questions about like the dynamic of what we're doing there? Like, obviously we're pre-plotting, but we understand that the scenes will basically determine how the next scenes will go. We're just kind of highlighting what the scenes will be, and then it'll steamroll from there. Does anybody have any questions on how the process is going to work?
Not so much a process, but a general mechanics question.
Go ahead.
Are there points such as in D&D where we would increase our stats level by any means?
I could explain that.
Go ahead.
So in game, during sessions, or you could make it milestones if you want to. When you're rolling skills and you succeed in a skill, you mark down. I think there's a pip in the character sheet maybe where you keep track of your
Yes.
successes, and so at the end of whatever milestone John decides, we roll for improvement where we have a chance of improving that particular skill that you succeeded at a little bit.
Right.
Okay, cool.
And there's one thing that I will be introducing to the leveling mechanic of the game, in that I am going to set kind of wider milestones, but I'm going to set a focus. And so what that means is when we get to that milestone point, you'll basically be rolling for improvement. What a focus will be is you'll choose one of those rolls and it will succeed automatically. So the other ones will be rolled, but the one you want to focus on, will be guaranteed to automatically succeed and increase. Understood?
And I don't know if it matters much, but I figured you might could use it at some point. I do have mechanical repair and driving as skills that are not great, but they're not awful.
I think with an 18, it's possible that you have a vehicle. Like it's 27 in 1927. I think the model. Oh God, I know I'm going to get so much kickback on this fucking. I don't even want to start talking about cars. I tried doing this in Candela Obscura, and Elizabeth gave me nothing but shit.
Maybe it's a car that was like
out.
left rusting or something, and because of
Well-
his skills.
Well, how
he
many
could
cars
blame
are going to
it
be
with
left around rusting in 1927?
Well, it's like an
The way,
like an old farm, like pickup truck or something.
I think in that case it would be. So the Model T was produced from 1908 to 1927. So it's probably one of those first gen Model Ts that is very kind of like broken down, and it's very much something you've been working on. So you would have a car.
So here's the thing: I have a lot of money and not the best driving skill. So if I need a driver, you might have it in.
I would say your credit rating is over 90. Is that correct, Zach?
Yeah, it's 95.
I am going to create you a valet, and I'm going to say that they are driving you around, but I don't think that the car that you're driving around is a Model T.
Maybe
There's
not.
a list of cars somewhere. Let me find it.
I think there are higher tier, better
But
cars.
just in case I ever need to take that bad boy for a spin.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
that
bad
you.
at it.
I think that you are definitely. You have a driver, right? And so I'm going to create you a valet because I think that is definitely something that happened during the period. People who were rich and well-to-do were driven around.
I have servants.
Big jerks.
I have an estate in New York that I'm currently away from.
And he hates you.
I do.
My
also
daughter's in a
want to
boarding
point out-
school. She does
Go ahead,
not
Chandler.
like me.
Well, you're just really you riffing
Hold on,
this.
Chandler. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. It's for the interaction for mine and Brent's characters. I want to point out that Brent's character's max height is like 5'4". I just want to point that out, and like 130 pounds at his size. It's going to be very entertaining. My guy is 40 points higher in size.
Well, I think
For
it's
him
interesting.
to walk up to me and ask me to show
What's
him
your-
around town.
What's your strength, Brent?
50.
That's average.
I have a 70 dex. I don't know if that matters.
So you're very nimble. Yeah, you're good
You're
at
a
farming.
hobbit.
You're Samwise Gamgee. Oh my god, best boy.
I have an 85 size and an 85 strength. Like,
And
Damn.
why are you playing a nerd? Why aren't you some Cinderella Man boxer?
no, he has no luck and no power, so he's.
I don't know what power is.
Power is your
I have
basically magic.
Oh, I know magic.
No, it's
I
like
do have
it's like
magic
your
points.
competency for magic, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Is 9 hit points a lot or middling?
I got 7.
It's okay.
Okay.
I think I had 10 with God, I can't even remember the character's name right now. What was the character I played?
Lemro.
Lemro.
I have 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lemro.
How do you have 12?
I don't know. I'm good.
It's based off of I think Con or something like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
also have 12.
Correct.
Hey, Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin. Zach. This is like the one of the fancy cars that was around at the time.
Posting in general. Okay. Oh, the Hudson Super 6. Damn, that's slick looking.
Oh, that guy was awesome in Cars.
It was a good character. in
That's
the
like
Cars
the
movie.
Phantom. That's like the Phantom car.
Who's to say I don't live a double life? A mild mannered Henry, whatever it was,
that.
Fitzgerald by
There's
day.
even Packard Twin 6 Touring. Hold on a second.
I love that. That's gorge. No, that's the one. There's not even a...
Wait a second.
Nope. I'm deciding for Zach. That's...
He's already
Don't,
sold.
don't I get some like Looney Tunes comically long fronted car?
When was the? When
Oh,
did
what are
Bugatti-
those?
When did Bugatti start making cars?
Not Bugatti.
Lamborghini was making tractors.
Brian can't afford it.
I
That
must
is
say.
not the
Thanks for
car.
offering.
The first car
This
is
is
the
a
car.
fancier car.
The first car is the car. I have to say, the first car is the car. What do you think, Zach? The Packard 6 or the Hudson Super 6?
If it's between the two, it's the Hudson.
Yeah, for sure, dude. That's sleek. That is sexy looking. The Packard is fine, I guess.
It's only a 2-seater. It looks like, but
Yeah.
whatever. Okay.
That's why I think the Hudson Super 6 is the
Yeah.
ideal, because the driver sits up front.
Couldn't I have an
The
Auburn?
dilettante sits in the back. You chauffeur me. Okay, so perfect. I will need to... Okay, so homework. We have a bit of homework here, just to make sure we
Can I
understand.
get an Auburn Roadster?
Are they...
1927.
Yeah.
Is that the car that was just posted?
No, I
No.
that's the
Copy
more recent version of the
image.
Packard.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, I'd like that.
That's not bad.
The Auburn Roadster, it's definitely more fancy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's flashy.
Looks like a Gatsby car almost.
Oh, yeah. That's the ticket.
That's beautiful.
That's the ticket. Yeah, Zach,
They
that's
have
the
a
one.
museum here in Indiana. It's really cool.
That's the one. What is this one? Send me the link for that, or the name of it.
It's an Auburn Roadster.
Auburn Roadster. I'll type it in the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna make you an NPC. It'll be a valet that you'll have who drives you around. Love that. And then that's one piece of homework. Other pieces of homework for me. I need to make sure I'm notating this on screen so when I watch this back, I know what I need to do. I need to make sure that the occult information that I am portraying for Otmar and Otmar's reason for being here is well elucidated upon, but only known by Chandler. I need to, having mentioned the mirror, all the information regarding the mirror and its set that I've already explained is more fully detailed for Andy, so he has it available to him. Zach, you have no information on the mirror, but I will try and get you more information on the details of the visuals of it. I explained it simply. 2 angels holding up what appears to be a traditional depiction of the Ark of Noah, and then a bunch of animals at its base, steel mirror in its setting. And then I need to also make sure we understand the political, I guess political is the wrong word, the social dynamic of this town center for Chody. So Bianca, you are well aware of all of the rumors and details that are present here. This is going to be a very large block of text I'm giving you, and it'll be only for you. So you're going to have a shit ton of information on all the people that are present here, before anybody even knows it. So you're going to be the go-to. So if somebody asks me about the town, I'm not going to answer the question. I'm going to tell them to ask you. And then Brent, you're not getting any of that information. I think you've got all the information you need because you're pretty simple, and we love that. Any questions for me before we? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only reason I brought up the mechanical thing is because obviously being a very small farmer, I imagine he doesn't have money all the time. So I figured he might do like side jobs or something.
I think a Model T.
I don't know if that would help or anything.
I think a Model T with a bed is probably sound too. Like just
Oh
having
yeah, for
a car.
sure. For sure.
Because a farmer, that's a very useful tool.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Any questions for me before we kick it off and end session 0? Very solid session 0, by the way.
Fun.
I got a car and a cursed mirror.
Yeah.
A person.
Like, you made out like a bandit today.
I think we're all good. Okay. Thanks for watching those that did. We'll pick up with session 1 next week on Sunday. And thanks for watching. See you then.